Now we know what scale is, we know what it looks like, how to identify it on your plant as a problem, what to look for, and now we're going to teach you how to get rid of it, how to solve this problem before it gets any worse. Beautiful, okay. We got a submission from Tina Terry. We have a pest problem, and we're gonna take a look at this example today and let you guys know what this is, how to identify it, and how to fix the problem. So today we're gonna look at scale. Scale is a very diverse species of insect. There are about 8,000 different types, and the shape of them are usually an oval to round shape, and they don't even look like an insect. So the female scale is usually the issue. What they will do is they will lay their eggs underneath their shell, and these eggs will turn into something called crawlers. So crawlers are little scale babies, and they are smaller than the size of a pinhead, and they will crawl around your leaves looking in search for a spot for food where they're gonna settle down and live long term. There are two types of scale. There are soft-bodied scale, which we're gonna generally see on our houseplants, and there are armored scale, which prefer more trees and shrubs. Soft scale can release up to 2,000 eggs or 2,000 young at a time underneath its shell to go scout all over your plants and look for a spot to hide, so that is a lot of potential pests if we don't take control of this problem immediately. Soft scale are generally found on the underside of your leaves and on your stems. The stems is where you're really gonna notice them. You can see they look like little abrasions on the actual stem itself, and look out for that round oval shape. I like to always cover that there is always good and bad things as well. There are types of scale that are actually great for human civilization. There are types of scale that produce a red dye that's used in textiles and for coloring the clothing that you're wearing. So how do we identify scale? There are a few signs and symptoms that you can look for to easily notice that scale is the issue that's on your plant. As we can see in this picture from Tina Terry, we can only see the actual insects. We can't see anything left behind or any damage done yet because this is still an early infestation. But other signs that you can look for are as a white fuzzy substance that has been left behind by the scale from feeding. What this does is it can actually cause issues with mold because it is a sugary substance. So you can also look for yellowing leaves and curling leaves. These scale will target young shoots first because they're a great source of energy. So now we know what scale is. Let's see how we can identify a scale issue if you can't actually see these insects on it. Luckily with Tina's case, she can easily identify that scale is the issue because we can see them on the actual stem and on the foliage. But there are some other great telltale signs that you have a scale issue on your plants. So the way that scale feed is they inject a needle into your plant's leaves. This needle is massive. It is 6 to 8 times the size of the scale itself. So this is how they take energy from your plant, by sucking the sap directly out of the leaf through this needle. As I mentioned with scale, a telltale sign is going to be a white fuzzy substance that they're going to leave behind. And the issue with this is that it contains lots of sugars. So what it will do is it'll attract molds that are going to infect your plant. So you're going to get a pest infestation as well as a disease. So you're getting a double whammy if you don't clear this up right away. So now we know what scale is, we know what it looks like, how to identify it on your plant as a problem, what to look for, and now we're gonna teach you how to get rid of it, how to solve this problem before it gets any worse. So Tina, get ready, this one's for you. You're gonna be able to get rid of this problem before it causes any more issues to your other plants or your current plant. So scale does have a waxy coating on it, kind of a protective layer, and it makes it a little bit more difficult to get rid of with an insecticidal soap or any other pesticide that's not as systemic. So what you're gonna have to do, Tina, for sure, this is gonna be a little bit of a labor on your part, but you're going to have to pry the scale off of your stems and your leaves because they're actually stuck there when they have that armored coating. So that's gonna help get rid of the adults. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to make a powerful insecticidal soap to get rid of all the crawlers and little babies that are crawling around your plants looking for a spot to build a home and create that protective layer. All right, so we're gonna make our insecticidal soap now. We're gonna start with our oil. The oil will help actually coat the insect and suffocate them. We're going to use some natural liquid soap. Anything that doesn't have any antibacterial or antifungal is great because we don't want to disrupt the microflora of your leaves. We're going to add in some diatomaceous earth here as well. That is going to help the dehydration effect for those little crawlers and for the adults. We've got our yucca extract, which is gonna give some more sticking power, and we're gonna blend that all up together and make it emulsified. So just like you're making a salad dressing, we want the oil and the water to blend together. So we're gonna start with our olive oil first. We're going to use a half a tablespoon per liter of water. All you're going to do is measure that out and add it into your mixing container. If you add a little bit too much, that's okay. We can balance it out with the soap. So next we're gonna add a couple drops of our liquid soap. The liquid soap is going to help emulsify this oil and help it stick to our leaves and the insects. Next, we're going to add our diatomaceous earth. This is going to dehydrate the insects. This is a great additive to any insecticidal soap. We're just going to use a tablespoon per liter. Next, we're gonna add our yucca extract. This is gonna give it even more sticking power and allow this solution to coat the leaves effectively and the insects so you get the most benefit from the spray. So we're going to add 0.25 milliliters per liter. A small amount goes a very long way with this. Add that right in there. And next we're gonna add our water. So water is very important when you're doing a spray. You wanna make sure that it is properly pH'd. You wanna make sure you're not using tap water that has chlorine in it because this will also disrupt the health of your leaves. All right, now we're gonna add our water to the solution. We're going to add a liter of water to this, get it all mixed up. So now that everything's mixed in this container, we are going to blend this. So blending is the best way to emulsify the oil and the water once it's mixed together. And what we're shooting for here is a opaque mixture. You don't want to be able to see through it. It should look nice and cloudy. So let's go ahead and hopefully not make a mess. All right. So we got our mixture here. We can see that it is properly blended together. Get a bigger container if you have a lot of liquid because we just made a mess. So this is what we're looking for here. You can see everything is blended together. We have a nice cloudy mixture. This looks like everything is homogenized properly. This is an emulsified mixture. This is going to be effective. If you let it sit and you see some oil rising to the top underneath the foam, you just need to add a little bit more soap to dissolve that oil in the water. So now we have our insecticidal soap mixture all mixed up, ready to go. It has sat for a couple minutes here and we can see there's no separation. It is still really nice and cloudy inside. So this is gonna work beautiful for cleaning up those crawlers and all the babies from the adult scale. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and add this mixture into our spray bottle. Beautifully mixed together. We got a little bit of foam on top. That is perfect. Screw the lid on there. Okay, so now you have your super effective natural insecticidal soap that you can make with anything around your house. If you don't have the yucca extract and diatomaceous earth on hand, you can still make a super effective insecticidal soap with just the oil and liquid soap and water. All right, so we're ready to start taking care of the scale. So give your insecticidal soap one last little shake, and we want to make sure that we're spraying the tops and the bottoms of these leaves effectively because that's where they're gonna hide out. You want to make sure you soak the stems. And another great practice, if you have the diatomaceous earth on hand, is to water the soil thoroughly with diatomaceous earth and water. If any of these small little crawlers or babies fall into the soil, you may not get them and they can start proliferating on your plant again, causing more scale issues. So all you're gonna do, take this insecticidal soap, this will stick really well to your leaves, and we're just going to coat the tops and the bottoms very well. So you don't want to miss any spots. You want to make sure the stems and the leaves are completely covered. And then you're gonna let that dry on there. So now that we have this treated once, I would repeat this process once every 2 days for a week. That is going to disrupt the life cycle of these scale insects, and just keep monitoring for any adults and just pick them off as you see them. If you notice that your infestation is not going away and it's beyond control, then you can start pruning off parts of the plants that are badly infested to protect the rest and keep treating as we just showed with this insecticidal soap recipe. Otherwise, if it is gone too far and there's no coming back, which happens, do not feel bad to throw your plant out. It is much easier to throw one plant out and protect all of your others than trying to save everything and putting that time and effort into something that's just going to die in the end. Leave it up to your judgment. If you feel like it's something you need to throw away, make sure you throw it in the garbage. Do not throw it in the compost or your garden because you're going to infest it potentially with these insects. So now we got this beautiful little jade taken care of. Tina, I hope this helps you take care of your jade and clean up the scale issue. If anybody has any more issues, please feel free to send them in and we will be happy to teach you guys what to look for, how to identify it, and how to control any pest issue that you may have in your home for your houseplants. If you have any other plant problems that you want to discuss further, you can book a one-on-one consultation with me through Gardenstead's website, and we can chat a bit further about it, give you some simple tips on how to actually fix this problem directly from home. This has been Plant First Aid with myself, Aaron Deacon, the Blue-Eyed Scientist. Do you have any plant problems? Let's solve them together.